You're taking a live look at Capitol Hill, where in just a few hours, the first ever Gender Liberation March will take place in D.C. The event comes as the U.S. Supreme Court has agreed to take up the case challenging Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care. Arguments will be heard in the fall, and a decision is expected next summer. The demonstration was coordinated by the Gender Liberation Movement, which states that they are marching for bodily autonomy, self-determination, collectivism, and the pursuit of fulfillment in the face of increasing restrictions on communities on the margins. So joining us now is one of the core organizers of the march, author and activist Raquel Willis. Raquel, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Whit.
So, Raquel, let me ask you first, how did the idea for this march come about, and how long have you been working to organize for it?
Well, we like to say that this march is years in the making. We know that there have been so many attacks on various communities on the margins, especially LGBTQ plus folks, but of course, folks who need access to abortion and reproductive justice. So in the last year, we've started to build a bit of a coalition of different leaders and organizations who believe that we all deserve to make our own decisions about our bodies.
And if counter-protesters come out today, how is the organization working to make sure that participants stay safe?
Well, we definitely have a robust and strong safety team that is there guiding us through the streets. We're going to take our voices and our bodies past the Capitol. We're going to go past the Supreme Court, as you said, and then we're also going to take this right outside of the Heritage Foundation. As many folks know, the Heritage Foundation are they are a key architect of Project 2025. And we know that that plan that they are putting forth will restrict so many of our rights as queer and trans folks, as women, as folks of color. And we just want to let it be known that we're not going to have that. We're going to raise our voices and continue to fight.
And Raquel, as you know, some of the things that you're advocating for have become controversial political issues in this really divided country that we're in right now. Several Republican-led states have taken steps to bar access to gender-affirming care for transgender minors, which for people under 18, that typically involves using reversible hormones to delay puberty. So what do you say to people who may have nothing against the trans community at all, but just believe that minors are simply too young to be making these life-changing decisions?
Well, I would suggest that folks get to know trans folks across all ages. You know, our experiences are not new, not something that just kind of fell out of the sky yesterday, as many folks have thought. We have elders, we have ancestors and transcestors who remind us that queer, trans, and non-binary folks have always existed. And actually, one of the key struggles for a lot of our people has actually been having access to the health care that we deserve. So we understand folks may have questions, but let's actually hear and be in dialogue with folks who know firsthand what a trans or non-binary or gender non-conforming experience is. Overwhelmingly, the folks pushing this regressive legislation don't know queer and trans and non-binary folks, and they are trying to fearmonger and dig into ignorance. But the other thing that we also want to let people know is that this is about all of our bodies. So these politicians who are pushing restrictive legislation against trans and non-binary folks, they're not stopping at trans and non-binary youth. As we've recently seen in Florida, they're coming for trans and non-binary folks of all ages. And you better believe that the attacks on gender-affirming care are intertwined with the attacks on access to abortion, IVF, and reproductive justice writ large.
Raquel Willis, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it.